Hello, in this video I'll walk you through the steps to debug your Revit plugins locally using Cursor. So the first thing you need is this automation C# Revit logo debug tool. This is very focused on Visual Studio, Community or Pro. If you have, you can follow these steps and follow this video over here. But in our case, we are going to do some steps slightly different. So the first thing we need to do is make sure we have this tool enabled. So let's open Cursor and select the option to clone this repo. Let me clone from this URL, and I'm going to save this inside this demo folder I have here. Then we can open this repo, and then since I'm using Revit version 2025, I'm going to just follow the steps for this specific project over here. So let me open a new terminal, move to this specific folder, this one over here, and then I can call the commands .NET build, after a few seconds you'll see that we have here two required DLLs. One is the design automation handler, and the other one is design automation bridge, and also the add-in. This add-in is a XML file that contains the structure that Revit requires to load the plugin, including some specific add-in GUID, the path for the assembly for the DLL containing the code, the logic, leveraging the Revit API, and information about the vendor. So this is all we need now to start debugging our plugin with Cursor. So let me minimize this here, and inside my demonstration folder I can go to this path where my DLLs were created. I can copy these three options here, the add-in file and the DLLs, and paste it inside my Revit add-ins 2025 folder. These two here, Design Automation Handler, are basically one plugin to be the bridge between Revit interface and our bundle. And this Design Automation Bridge is just a requirement for our plugin to mimic automation interface. You can leave it anywhere actually. You can leave it in your any other folder, but we will need this DLL. We need to make a reference to this DLL from the execution of our plugin. Our plugin needs to leverage this specific library over here. As soon as I do this, if I open my Revit engine, I can see this is going to ask if I want to load this design automation handler. Let me select always load and just open some sample file here. Now if I go to add-ins and then external tools, I have this option, automation service handler. Okay, right now it doesn't do anything, but when we add our bundles to test automation plugins locally, this is going to trigger our bundle execution. Let's leave it like that for now, and now we can move to the part where we actually start debugging our plugin using Cursor. You can leverage this kind of template over here. This repo is supposed to work as a template. So let's open a new window with Cursor. Let me close this one, we don't need it anymore. Open a new window, and we are also going to clone this repo. Let me clone this, and the path to save this, I'm going to use the same path as I used it before. source demo, and yeah, this one. Open this repo in cursor, and let's see what we have here. We have one add-in, and let me just delete this option over here, whatever. This is going to change based on your the local that you use. It contains information about the plugin, the GUID, the vendor itself. Feel free to change all of that. It has some basic methods, and these basic methods are taking advantage of Revit API and also the Design Automation Bridge, which is the plugin that makes our execution to work just like one automation work item. Okay, and the main thing we need to change is inside this CS project file from our bundle. We need to change these values over here. This is the actual path for the Revit version, the executable of the Revit version we are using. I can keep the same as I'm using version 25. Below we also have the paths for the add-ins. If I were using version 26, I will need to change these both options here. And here we have the path for our Design Automation Bridge. This is the required DLL that we are going to use to make a reference to this Design Automation framework. Okay, so we need to change. You need to change all of these three options according to your environment. In my case, I placed the Design Automation Bridge inside a Revit add-ins folder for my current version, so I don't need to change any of those. And as soon as I start, a few things will happen to make our debugging easier. So first thing, let's see, there is this PowerShell option here. There is this command here, just to update our add-in path according to our output path for our DLL. So this project is going to grab the output DLL for our bundle, for our plugin that we are debugging, and replace with this assembly field value over here. This is also making reference to Design Automation Bridge, and this command, in the end, we are going to copy this add-in and paste it inside our add-ins folder. So to summarize, we are going, this script over here is going to take advantage of this update add-in path command to update the path for our DLL, and after we build our DLL, we are going to copy and paste our add-in file inside the specific add-ins folder for our Revit version. All of that based on these paths that we specify over here. Okay, and the way to debug it is by, first of all, loading Revit, opening Revit, and then running our sample, running our repo on debug. So enough talking, let me just share with you how you can do that. So first thing you need to do is open Revit. So let me open Revit engine in English. Just open with this file, that's okay. And now let's start debugging. Let's start debugging our application. And now we can select the Revit executable. And as you can see, our add-in was just copied here, and inside Revit we need to allow this plugin to start getting executed. So if we go over commands, and let me add one breakpoint over here. As soon as I trigger this automation service handler, we are going to reach our breakpoint, and with this you can debug your bundle. Okay, let me just detach this process. And if we try to do the same, now that our adding is already here, you're going to see that it is simply not going to copy our adding once again. Let's also load once, and inside here we start debugging. Once again, we attach the Revit process, and inside Revit, let's just, I don't know, run a different sample. And inside addings, trigger automation handler, and that's it. Okay, so you can add your code and test it with Revit, and every time you need to run a different bundle, this Design Automation Handler only supports one plugin to be tested only supports one bundle to be tested. So you need to always delete the bundle you were testing previously, and then change with your new adding. Okay, that's it. If you have any advice, any change you like to see, or any sample to test with this, just let us know in the comments of this video. Thank you.